Hello, a very warm welcome to you. This is Platform with Aguela. Today we put a spotlight on some special persons in society. I'm talking about persons with disability. According to reports, an estimated 35.5 million Nigerians are living with disabilities. Now, these growing numbers pose a challenge for the nation, especially in meeting the needs of persons with disabilities who often feel neglected and discriminated in certain aspects of developmental processes. If we recall, in 2018, President Muhammadu Buhari signed the Discrimination Against Persons with Disability Act, which heralded a new dawn towards prioritizing disability rights in Nigeria. Now, the Act provides for full inclusion of persons with disabilities in developmental processes, strengthening the institutional landscape for disability inclusion. This follows the establishment of the National Commission for Persons with Disabilities in 2020, that was in August. The Act, among other things, empowered the Commission to promote, protect, and prioritize the rights of persons with disabilities and to further enhance their productivity through education, health, and other social economic activities. Now, the Commission's vision is to see an inclusive society where rights, privileges, aspiration, and equality and of opportunities of persons with disabilities are guaranteed. To this end, a concerted effort must be in place to raise awareness surrounding disability issues, which will serve to shift negative perceptions and stigma against persons with disabilities among family members and communities at large, which is going to be a focus on the conversation today, promoting inclusivity in Nigeria. And our guest is the Executive Secretary, National Commission for Persons with Disabilities, Mr. James David Lalu. Thank you very much for joining us on the program.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
All right, so before I introduce our panelist, I'll take you through a bit of his profile. James David Lalu has a disability of deafness. James Lalu has held various positions in his years of service, from being Executive Chairman, Plateau State Disability Rights Commission, Executive Consultant, Jaslong Consulting Limited, Member Commissioner, Plateau State Disability Rights Commission, Senior Special Assistant on Disability, Office of the Executive Governor of Plateau State. He is also a member of different professional bodies, member National Teachers Registration Council, Community-Based Rehabilitation African Network, member Community-Based Rehabilitation Global Network. He has received different awards for his excellence in service, some of which include National Productivity Order of Merit, that was in 2018, United States Volunteer Service Award in 2012, among others. All right, that's the much you should know about my guest for now. So let's introduce our panelist. She is Laraba Nure, a reporter with the Abuja Inquirer newspaper. Laraba, always nice to see you. Have I said Happy New Year to you this year? I'm not seeing you.
No, you haven't. Happy New Year. Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here.
All right. So, Mr. James Lalu, welcome once again to Platform. And we want to look at promoting inclusivity in Nigeria. There's a whole lot we have seen from, following the record, your records at the top of a hem of affairs, pushing for the rights, protection of the rights of persons with disability as the Executive Secretary of the Commission. How would you say so far, looking back from your assessment, how tasking has it been? What are some of the records you have seen? Are we on the right path talking about for the disability community?
Thank you so very much. As you already see, though we have not arrived where we want to be as a community or as persons with disabilities in Nigeria, but we are no longer where we used to be. There has been a lot of changes that have occurred since the signing of the Discrimination Against Persons with Disabilities Prohibition Act 2018. Maybe we are there for about 90 years. Persons with disabilities have been struggling to have a lot of protected rights and dignity as citizens of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. When you look around, some African countries have similar laws. When you look around the world, most of these developed countries have similar laws. Persons with disabilities have been going there in school, to go for something. They see what is happening around their place. They came back home to put ourselves together to struggle for these people. We have had about 3 different presidents who have ruled Nigeria during that time. All of them rejected signing that bill. One of their major excuses was that how are they going to get money to fund the activities of that commission. Sometimes when we sit down as a people, we will always ask ourselves, where is President Muhammadu Buhari getting that money to fund the National Commission for Persons with Disabilities? He did it with passion. So when he signed the bill into an act, that is precisely on the 17th of January 2019.
Okay.
After signing that bill, he did it well longer. I am sure that by 17th of August, 2020, he approved a formal takeoff of the National Commission for Persons with Disabilities through the approval of the members of the Governing Council and the Executive Secretary of the National Commission for Persons with Disabilities. The Commission is under the supervision of the Ministry for Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development. So since then, the proper activities commenced. We have been on and where we are today.
And okay, go ahead. I thought you were doing. Go ahead. Go ahead. Okay.
So some things have happened as I am talking to you to the based on disability inclusion as what you started earlier. Persons with disabilities, I think we have over 200,000 persons with disabilities that are properly benefited from the National Social Investment Program. When you look at the different clusters of the National Social Investment Program, I give you an estimated number because up till now, at the moment as we are talking to you, the enrollment is still ongoing. We have over 51,000 persons with disabilities who are currently on the Empower platform. They have been receiving their money, receiving their alert every month. So when you look around this, there is some sense of inclusion. The Honorable Minister for Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development have approved 10% inclusion in all clusters of the National Social Investment Program. So when you look at it from the G program, government empowerment, something like that, thank you. So when you look from that angle, persons with disabilities are there. They have a lot. We have a lot of number of persons with disabilities who are POS operators. They are working. Okay. So when you live in that place, you come to the conditional cash transfer. A lot of people have received money. That 5,000 naira, that 20,000 naira. When you live here in Abuja, here that 20,000 naira or 5,000 naira, you may only use it to recharge your phone to make call. But if I can tell you that the rural communities, the small money you see, it is really changing life and it is deeply touching lives. A lot of our persons with disability today in the communities have been benefiting from this. When you come to the Empower, they are there. The conditional cash transfer program right now, I received a call this morning, complaint from our people about their enrollment in Benue State. And we have to call the conditional cash transfer office to address that problem immediately. That is the beauty of disability inclusion.
Okay. Now, this is highly commendable. Before Laraba will come in, I know she has a follow-up question to that. It's highly commendable, I must say. You're talking about 10% or more inclusion of all the programs under the Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs for Persons with Disability under the NSIP. But if we want to break it down, if we want to look at some of the challenges persons with disabilities consistently face, because it's one thing to have all this in place, then accessibility for it to go round has been part of the challenge. Implementing the Act is something I know you've been pushing for. What are some of the loopholes you've observed that is hindering full implementation of the Act?
The challenge we are facing about the full implementation of the discrimination against persons with disabilities prohibition act is the attitude of the people.
Okay.
Sometimes some people have somehow negative attitude towards the disability community. I can still recall that when you look at section 29 of the Discrimination Against Persons with Disabilities Prohibition Act, it makes provision for 5% employment opportunities for persons with disabilities. Then when we meet with some chief executive officers of federal government parastatals and agencies, some of them still have doubt that persons with disabilities cannot be able to do this job, cannot be able to do that job, cannot be able to do this job. So when you look around, it is based on their own perception, based on their own attitude towards the disability community, that you will just sit down like this and you see a blind man and you just pass a judgment that because he cannot see, he cannot walk, because he cannot see, he cannot do this, he cannot do this. That is very terrible. The reality here is, if you can look at it, sit down with the man, have discussion with him, he can tell you what he can do and what he may not be able to do. When you come to our office, the National Commission for Persons with Disabilities, we have directors who have lines. We have head of units who have lines. We also have director who is deaf. We also have director who is in a wheelchair, and they continue to perform their work. The intelligence and initiative from the disability community is a wonderful thing. And when you look at it, to do your work, it is not the leg that you carry and put on the table and do your work. It is not the ears that you carry and put on the table and do your work. But what is contained in your head, what is contained in your brain, is where you can see the capacity, the ability. Today, when you look around, today our sportsmen, men who are able to go to different countries, some of them cannot even bring aluminium. But when you look around, the disability community have already filled up the Ministry for Sports with gold medals. This is to show you that persons with disabilities have the capacity to do something that will encourage the development of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. So as I'm talking to you at the moment, inclusion is something very, very sensitive, and it is everybody's business. We have to make sure that we correct our attitude to the disability community and believe the person with disabilities can be able to do any other thing except running. Where I don't have leg, I may say I cannot be able to run. Where I don't have ears, I can agree that I cannot be able to hear, but that does not mean that I cannot be able to perform certain duties to contribute in the building of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. So we say it everywhere. One of the advice I continue to give them is, when you see, don't just pass a judgment. You have not finished your creation until the very hour you enter your grave.
Indeed.
Anybody can be like me, anybody can be like us, one way or the other. Any day, anytime it can happen to everybody, nobody but disability. And nobody went for night vigil to pray to God to give you disability. Nobody prayed for that, but once it happens, accept it as the will of God, and that is it.
Okay, so I would like to commend the efforts of the Commission on what they have done with the National Social Investment Program. But my question is still on the implementation of the Disability Act. And then you mentioned that inclusivity is everybody's business. And this year, I would say, marks the 5th year, where if there's anyone that is found wanting who has not implemented those acts will be persecuted. Is there anything that the Commission is doing to raise awareness of these persons that haven't domesticated the act?
Thank you so very much. The provisions of the law is in different sections. The issue of the 5-year period is about accessibility to the built environment, accessibility in general that touches transportation system and other things. Discrimination against persons with disabilities is another part of it. That one does not rely on the 5-year waiting period. If you discriminate against persons with disabilities today, we can find a way to handle that matter and deal with the situation anytime, any moment. Based on this issue, trying to turn the manners of discrimination against persons with disabilities, the National Commission for Persons with Disabilities have partnered with the Nigerian Police. We have established these offices at the Nigerian Police. We also partner with the Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps. We also established these offices in these places. We have established a platform today. When you go to Android market and then touch NCPW. Once you touch that, search for that, you will see an application pop up. It is from the National Commission for Persons with Disabilities. Download the application into your phone. we see different activities on the platform. Once you see them, that is where you can report discrimination against persons with disabilities. Once you touch that, you go type this problem you have. If there is any evidence you have on ground, then you can be able to snap it, attach it to that, send it immediately. As you click send, we see it in our office. Our ICT team immediately when we see that, our ICT team now immediately will transmit to me, and once I see it, we will send to our legal department. We have 8 lawyers that are here ready to deal with any situation anytime. So as soon as we get that, our lawyers will study, then send to Nigeria Police and Nigeria Security and Civil Defense. They will reach out to that police immediately based on their network. They have available branches everywhere across the country. They will try to address the problem immediately. They will do the investigation and they will fit us back. Once they fit us back, we try to look at it. One of the avenues we try to use is the alternative conflict resolution mechanism.
Okay.
Because we see that this law is coming new. We will not just see case and hastily go to court. We try to make sure that the person who discriminates against the person with a disability will use the opportunity to educate you very, very well about the law, the punishment that comes with it, and how we can be able to solve this problem. So most of them immediately when they realize that there is a law, they realize that there is an institution, they realize that now persons with disabilities have a godfather who is the law there to protect their rights and dignity. They will quickly apologize. And once they apologize, they will do. From there, we will try to cancel you, never to repeat it again. I can tell you that we have handled a lot of cases that involve high-profile people. There are some up to the commissioner, speakers of State House of Assembly who have discriminated against the rights of persons with disability. We have to write to them. Because nobody is above the law, so we have to deal with this to make sure that we address this problem. Now we have a 24-hour, 7 days WhatsApp number that is available through our website. You can do anything to report cases of discrimination to us. We are ready at any moment to handle the cases to make sure we address this. On the area of awareness creation, we try to identify the major stakeholders. So that the major stakeholders will find a way of entering into the community to the major stakeholders. That is why we identify our religious institutions are very, very important about this. Because some of the community level, they are misguided to some of the religious belief. You show them that when you become a person with a disability, you might have seemed to God one way or the other. Our traditional institutions are very, very key. So we look at it and we pick these institutions for us to be able to start our work engagement with them. We did it. Last year we convened a national summit on disability inclusion in the religious and traditional institutions in Nigeria. The leaders of the religious institution and traditional institutions we are dear with. I'm glad to tell you that today His Eminence the Sultan of Sokoto is the grand patron of disability in Nigeria. Okay. And then the president of the Kan Christian Association of Nigeria is also a grand patron of disability in Nigeria. So when we have these 2 major leaders today who are standing proudly with people with disabilities, I can tell you that our message of non-discriminatory Nigeria is on its way to the grassroots.
Indeed, and I can see your passion, I can see the efforts you really put in to ensure that inclusiveness is achieved and sustained across the country. Now, something very critical that you have also been a victim when you were a child: education, access to quality education. According to reports, 49% of children with disabilities never attend school, and 41% who attend, face all form of discrimination because there is no friendly disability environment for them. And I know one time you shared your story in an interview where you said you were also a victim of that. At the foundation level, let's not even get to the secondary level, because you start from the foundation before you get to the secondary level. How far has the Commission gone to push to ensure that no child is left out?
Thank you so very much, Assurely. See, I am also a victim of discrimination against persons with disability. Although I was not born like this, I had to go up to an ACA level before I lost my hearing ability on the way. When I got this, immediately I was the president of the Plateau National Association of Plateau State Students in the College of Education. When I lost my hearing ability, I am happy and I will continue to be very proud of my classmates who stood by me as at that time. I was even in the hospital during my treatment, but they elected me to be that president while I was still in the hospital. That is why I will continue to appreciate them every day. Come back to it. When I graduated from the College of Education, it took me almost about 4 years to return to school. It's not been easy for me to be able to realize where I am. A lot of people keep even going to advise my own father, deaf, your son, deaf, cannot become anything again because he lost his ability. We go to war, we go to school, where can he get job again? But when I heard about this, it pained me deeply, and I said I must prove them wrong. That was my determination. I was given a form to go and apply for a local government job. I refused to do it. I said I must stay the four corner of the university, and I did everything possible in my life. After the 4 years I returned, I got admission. I went back to the university. So when I went back to the university, the admission I got was to study economics BSc. When I came to the university, during screening, I came and approached the team. We all like this. After we finished, it came to my turn. When they asked me, I said, oh, sorry, I cannot hear. Will you help me? You don't hear? He said, go back. Cannot ask me deaf into economics. No way. Like play. I was referred to the university clinic. When I went to the university clinic, they did the medical examination for me. They didn't test anything. They only put a meter here, do blood pressure here. After they finish, the last thing they recommended was that I can't be able to study economics based on a hologram. Can you imagine this? So as I went, there was no law they would be able to defend me. So I had to accept my fate that way. I struggled. It took me almost 2 months before I had my course changed to another course. At last, when after all this struggle, I have to accept me like that. That was why my meeting with some of our vice chancellors, now that I've become the Executive Secretary of the National Commission for Persons with Disabilities, City of His Excellency President Muhammadu Buhari, I faced some of the vice chancellors and I told them the experience I had in the university. They say, no, you shouldn't have been like this. I say, okay, this is the proper time for you to be able to correct this. Leadership is all about ensuring that the experience you have, the next generation never experience that.
Yes.
So that is why we remain committed to partnering with the Nigerian universities to make sure that we address these challenges. Some of the universities today, we are working with them in reviewing their internal university policy documents.
What about primary schools and secondary schools?
And also as a follow-up,
yes.
And also,
thank you so very much.
And also as a follow-up, I would like to also add, what is the place of sign language in those schools as well? Because we see that those ones take place mostly in the cities, but we don't see that in primary schools.
Thank you so very much. When we talk about that issue of sign language, what we did is that we have identified a challenge in sign language today in Nigeria. Our law, section 18, when you look at section 17, section 18, section 19, deal with education, the inclusiveness of education, and then to make sure that curriculum from primary schools and above involves sign language. But the challenge we have in middle of the office is to that the fact that sign language, as you see it, you don't know it, you don't know sign language. You see now the Peter, he is signing 80% of the sign language he is doing is both American sign language. Now it will become almost necessary for to carry American sign language and come and put it into our school curriculum. And see, we are doing this, it is not like that. So when we look at this, when you go to the southeast, you will see the deaf community signing their local traditional issues differently from those people in the southwest. Yes, you come to the far north, you will see the signing is more different. So when you bring a deaf from southwest, southeast, bring a deaf from the far north, bring them to come and sit down together like this, they will not understand themselves very well because of the variations in the same language. So the next step for us was to make sure that we produce the Nigerian sign language, a document we will be very, very proud of it as Nigerians. So we started the process. Last year, we launched the first phase of the Nigerian sign language dictionary. This year, in 2021, we launched the first phase. In 2022, the second edition emerged. Now the Nigerian Sign Language Dictionary is almost ready, but it is going to be a continuous development over time, because as we identify new issues, we have to sign new issues so that all of us as stakeholders will agree on the signing, then we incorporate it into the document. Now the second edition is there ready. It is almost over 200 page document at the moment. So now that we are producing, we are working right now with the Federal Ministry for Education to make sure that we incorporate it into the school curriculum from primary to secondary school. While at the tertiary level, our EU Commission have partnered with the Federal University in Latvia. As a pilot project, we introduced a new degree in sign language. The Nigerian sign language, not the broad American sign language. So we introduced a new degree. Admission is ongoing in that new degree at the Federal University Latvia. We brought specialists from different parts of the world. They came here into Nigeria. We sit down and then they review the curriculum, agreed, and provide some capacity building to the lecturers in the place. So now the degree program is just starting, and we are hoping that in the next 4, 5, 6, 10 years going forward, we will have 2 specialists in language in the Nigerian sign language who are expected to come back to the primary schools and the secondary schools to be teachers in that place, so that they continue to disseminate knowledge in the Nigerian language. We are happy that this curriculum, as we are working with them, as soon as we review the primary and secondary school curriculum, then incorporate sign language into it, very much children are going to benefit from it, because when they go to learn sign language, they come back, they will know how to request for money for lollipop from other father.
Indeed, and this is something that it's not only for the disability community, it's for everybody. If we're talking inclusivity, to the highest level in Nigeria. All right, let's go on this break. When we come back, we'll continue the conversation. Stay tuned.
Pleased that the Buhari-led administration has made remarkable progress,
like Lafia Transmission Station nearing completion.
Africa does not need charity, but partnerships that will promote the adequate investments
with the cooperation of all.
Sharing firsthand the experiences of reporters on the field as they bring to you weekly the beauty of Nigeria's diverse culture and the economic potentials therein. The Correspondent, development through the eye of the grassroots, showing every Monday at 1:30 p.m. on the network service of the NTA, with a repeat broadcast on NTA News 24 and NTA International. Join us.
Now, what could make someone set out on a journey and not get to his or her destination? Now, imagine the victim who cannot reach out to these responders, who doesn't even have the force to reach out. Hello, thank you very much for joining us on platform and with Aguel.
And the girl, especially if the girl is a minor, she's not yet 18 years, if she gets pregnant, realize that such girl is sent out of school and the boy is left in school.
Just not to put the color.
So how much sensitization is there by
I don't agree. A lot of people are just deaf mutes.
Thanks for staying tuned. We're still talking promoting inclusivity in Nigeria. Our guest is the Executive Secretary in National Commission for Persons with Disabilities, Mr. James David Lalo. So you were telling us how sign language is very important, not just for the disability community, but for everybody. Now, aside the dictionary you're putting in place, what about for, ordinary persons who wants to learn it, aside not in school, people who have family members, who are disabled in one form or the other, and they want to learn? Where do they go? How do they, get access to this initiative?
Thank you so very much. I understand that there is passion among the populace about learning sign language. Even the Permanent Secretary, Ministry for Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development, Dr. Nasir Sani, also showed his passion and interest to learning sign language. That was why we packaged sign language interpreters too. We posted them to his office so that they will be there permanently with him to teach him sign language, so that when next time I come to meet him for private discussion, no interpreter should be there between us and him.
Okay, that's a good strategy.
We are committed to provide a class for sign language interpretation learning for federal workers within the Federal Secretariat. With open discussion with the Office of the Head of Civil Service of the Federation, what we are needing at the moment is the whole to be provided for that. We are going to provide that lesson 3 times per week. Anybody who would like to is interested to learn sign language can go there to go and learn sign language. It will be step by step, and they will try as much as possible to make sure that they honor and respect everybody's working hours, so that the sign language will be provided. Secondly, we have employed over 50 sign language interpreters in our office. The sign language interpreters are providing diverse services in different places. So if you have any program or if you have any issue that will require a sign language interpreter, you don't need to pay any money. The best thing one can do is to write to our office and request for the services of a sign language interpreter at least 2 days before the program, so that once it is processed, the sign language interpreter will be posted to go there. We have our new vehicles are there. They will transport the sign language interpreter to that place. He will provide the services. When he finished, the language interpreter can come back. Even in our churches or our mosque today, if the day for prayer, like on Sunday or on a Friday, when you feel that there are deaf in that places, you want sign language interpreter, please write to our office. But they will need to pay them anything. We will send them to go there and provide the services to anybody who may need it. Our effort is to make sure that we cover the whole federation, but as I say, we are just 2 years old. We are growing. With time, we hope to employ about 200 and above sign language interpreters. Then we will post them to our zonal offices, where they will continue to provide services in the grassroots level. We can be able to conduct these classes with a language interpretation in different parts of the country, so that we continue to do that. That is on the one side. Then the second angle of it is the training, as I say, we are doing in the Federal University in Latvia. Once we finish with that one, 2, 3, we have degrees, we can be able to extend that to different universities. Some university vice chancellors are directly requesting for this from us to be able to go introduce that degree program in these universities. As long as budgetary provisions are available for us to provide the funding support to establish these courses, we will do as many universities as possible, so that we can see this to go into a postgraduate degree program, so that they will go to PhDs and other things. We want to see a professor in Nigerian sign language in Nigeria. This is part of our dealing to make sure that we move this. So sign language is an interesting language, just like you have Yoruba, you have Igbo, you have other things. Now if by any chance as a Yoruba man, you leave Lagos or you leave Ibadan to go and stay in Kano, if you want to do business truly in Kano, you must learn Hausa.
Yes.
So if you live another part of the country, you go to another part of the country, if you want to truly to do business and get customers, you must learn their own language. That is why in the near future, if you come to my office and you want to communicate to me, I will tell you I am there for those sign. If you cannot sign them, all the proposal you bring, all the requests you bring are date on arrival. So you see, so when you see something like this, it is a motivation for everybody to call us language so that we can join our world too. We are part of the system. We are also citizens of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. We are proud of what God has made us, and we will definitely use that opportunity to contribute in the development of the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
Okay, so last year, during the celebration of the commemoration of the World Disability Day, the Minister of Humanitarian Affairs, Adi Omar Farouk, mentioned that there was established the Braille and Press Library across the 6 geopolitical zones. How has that impacted those communities?
Thank you so very much. Now in our own office, we have about 3 to 4 Braille embossers. These are machines that translate documents into Braille for the blind. We are doing this deliberately to make sure that we provide these services to the blind community totally free. As I am talking to you today, NAPTIP is the first federal government agency to take over that advantage. The DG is my own sister. So when she came, she insisted that most of their policy documents, she want them to be translated into Braille so that it will be shared with the blind community. But the blind community will also read as it is provided. They will also read and know the law as it is against trafficking persons firsthand. So we provided the services, but our team are already working on it. To translate a document into Braille, I have a lot of stages that have to do with editing, proofreading, and review of the documents before we can be able to provide them. Because once we do, a Braille expert can do it. Once he finishes, the blind have to review it. We have to bring language specialists who are blind, who know what it means to translate the document into Braille. They will review it again before we can be able to produce a final copy and do the mass copy of the document. Our blind people from some of the schools here within nearby, they have been coming here to come and support us. The 6 Braille centers were established some time back. Some of them are not properly working at the moment. The minister have given us the directive to review and upgrade these centers. We are working right now to upgrade these centers. One is in Lagos, one is in Bauchi, one is in Enugu, one is in Kaduna, another one in Kano, and yes, I think one is in Ibadan and some part of the country like that. So we are now working to review them, upgrade them, so that we will have the mass printing machines in the centers, so that these Braille documents can be transmitted to different places. One of our encouragement here is NTA here and different other government agencies. When we are doing program, then you must have to invite our people, please, even from the program. You have to bring it to us. We will translate it into Braille and share it to them. Because once they come to the program and you do everything in the paper, written, typing in the paper, there you finish. Once you share to them, it is discrimination. And if you share to them, which are sharing into Braille, it is discrimination. And when they report NTA to us, we have to remind NTA that our legal officers are there ready.
NTA is already doing its own part in some way.
And they have the capacity to check everywhere to make sure that persons with disabilities are not discriminated upon. So we are encouraging all federal government agencies, state agencies, and others who want to take advantage of our services should come. Papers are there, everything are there. Our team are ever ready to provide the support. So by this way, we are looking forward to working together with every different type of stakeholders to make sure that we make Nigeria a country comfortable for all citizens, including persons with disabilities.
Okay, we can't leave out the elections. You know, it's just few weeks to go, and I know there's something you're very passionate about, votability, so to say, and this is something you've been campaigning for to ensure that its disability community are, you know, involved in the electoral process before and during the elections. How far have you gone in terms of sensitization and enlightenment for the community?
I want to say the chairman of the Independent National Electoral Commission is a godsend for persons with disabilities. The man is very, very well committed to disability, to provide us a level playing ground for disability community to participate fully in the electoral system. We have some of our organizations like the Albino Foundation and the Inclusive Friends Association and others of our organizations with persons with disabilities have partnered together with us to create this awareness everywhere. As I can tell you today, persons with disabilities are fully aware of their electoral rights. That is why during the previous continuous voter registration process, they provide an exceptional window for the disability community to be properly aware and be stimulated and encouraged to do their voter registration. Today, a lot of them have started receiving their PVCs. And as you know, that once you get to a PVC, the politicians will respect you because you have what we call electoral value. So now the disability community already have the electoral value. Any politician that play with the disability community is doing that at his own risk. So I can say it here. INEC have committed themselves to even make sure that the ad hoc electoral officers that are going to the different polling units, persons with disability are going to be included in them. Proper training will come on for all of these electoral officers. We have to guide them and train them about how they need to handle the disability community on the field. Our security agencies must have to also get the necessary awareness to be able to manage the disability community if there is any crisis that may erupt in the place. One of the greatest fear of our people to go and vote is the fear of any crisis that may erupt in the place, because if I do not have leg and I see Gagaga in that place, I may not be able to run.
Yes.
And as a Dave, when I go for to do my voting, and if there is any problem, when people start exchanging words, I may not even understand what they are doing. Are they truly playing? Are they fighting? Until when I see here is hitting here, here is hitting here, here is hitting here, before I realize that there is problem. Sometimes before I start to run, it may come to me. You see, but the problem can come to me what I do not even know how it will start. So these are the things that we need everybody on this day to make sure that persons with disabilities are properly protected. The law made provisions to give priority to persons with disabilities when it comes to queuing anywhere. So INEC is respecting that, and when it comes to that place, people will come. We will continue to advise our people to go to the polling unit as early as possible so that they can vote and then go home, or maybe vote and stay far away so that the words in electoral malpractices, we also have the capacity to report electoral malpractices against some of our own candidates of our own choices. We have the capacity and the ability to also protect our own candidates when it comes to that. You see, so with this, I can say that one way or the other, Nigeria is prepared for the 2023 general election, including voters with disabilities. We are also prepared for the 2023 general election, and we look forward to providing our vote to make sure that we take a decision of who will come and lead Nigeria, who will come and lead our state, who will come and lead our local government, who will come and become our representative to the National Assembly here, Abuja. So if any politician does not have respect for the disability community, must make sure that you are losing our vote already. So we want to vote for somebody who will come and make sure that she respects and honor our candidates. We can say it everywhere. If to say President Muhammadu Buhari is going to contest for any election, the disability community in Nigeria, we are going to give him our vote in blow, because we make sure we know what he has done for the disability community, what he has already planted, the respect he has already gathered from the disability community. His footprint will be in our heart forever.
Indeed, he has left a very, strong legacy to look back on.
Okay, so I was going to ask, one of the needs of the disability community is assistive technology, and that is very, very expensive, especially the cane for the visually impaired. Is there any arrangements to make those tools subsidized for that community and other assistive technology?
Thank you so very much. For the first year, we started working. We have been able to buy some of these assistive devices. As you rightly say, the experience is terrible. When you want to buy this equipment, the dollar is increasing everything. It is changing face every hour. So today you plan to buy 100, by tomorrow, next tomorrow, dollar change. The number will have to come back to 70 or 60. You can imagine this. Now the number of persons with disabilities expecting this device is very, very high. That is why the idea, the need to commence the upgrading of producers of assistive devices in Nigeria have already commenced.
I was going to ask that.
I want to say that we have very smart and intelligent persons with disabilities who have that skills. So this have to go for into. We have to go. We had a discussion with the Bank of Industries in Nigeria today. Now the Bank of Industries is ever ready. I remain grateful to the executive director on small scale business development enterprise. This place are 100% ready to support the disability community with seed funds. Now, in these funds that is supposed to come, we are now on the mobilization stage. As soon as they get this fund, we are going to bring experts from part of the country, outside the country, who have the skills, who can be able to come and improve our skills. So that the production of this can be properly improved. We want to see that all of the standard wheelchairs have been produced in our country. When we look at some of the welding equipment our people use, they always go and buy some of these welding machines that are just small money, 150,000, 200,000 naira. The equipment, the welding machine cannot be able to weld metals properly. So they use that one and some of the pipe and all that thing they continue to use in production of assistive devices like wheelchairs and all that is and they continue today. It is there, it is of low quality. So when you look at this, once you buy a wheelchair like this, they go after a small time, it will break. After a small time, it will break. So improving the quality and provision of the machines that will assist them is something that is very, very expedient at the moment, and Bank of Industries are committed to support our community, and we are doing the mobilization now. In the next few years, we will start producing the standardized wheelchairs in Nigeria. The cost will come down, looking using local material for everybody to be able to access it.
Okay, and aside the Bank of Industry, is the Commission also looking at partnering with other private sectors, even international community who wants to partner with the Commission?
Okay, on the provision of assistive devices? Yes. I see, you see, when it comes to something like this, the first point you have to see as a people is where the money is. Because money is the most important thing at the moment. After they get the money, the technical partners that will support in building their capacity are available everywhere. Today we have technical partners. The International Wheelchair Association are part of the technical partners who are willing to come and improve their capacity even for free. So you see, so what I'm trying to say here is that we have a lot of stakeholders who are far very willing to support this, to make sure that we have home-based capacity to produce most of these assistive devices. But there are modern assistive devices. There is something we call it OCAM that have just emerged just recently. The device, when you put it here for the blind, the device here can become an eye for the blind.
Yes.
And everywhere you can read documents, you can see, the device will go to communicate to him everything. Now when you see the device just come in, and the cost of the device is over 4 million naira for a person. So these are some of the devices, but we can try our best, the ones we can be able to produce locally, but we must confess that there are some we may not be able to adopt to it at the moment to be able to produce it. We have to buy them, but we will continue to manage the situation to make sure that we make our people to be very, very productive.
Okay, now final question.
Now, there's this study by the World Health Organization that says 1 in 4 people are projected to have hearing problems by 2050. And while you were speaking earlier, you said it's not everybody that was given birth to like this. It can happen to anyone in the process of life. Is there anything that the Commission is doing to sensitize the populace on how they can protect themselves so that they don't fall into the disability community?
Yes. Thank you
very
so very
briefly,
much.
you have to answer that very briefly.
Thank you so very much. On the area of creating awareness for the prevention of disability that include deafness, blindness, and other things, we're working on that area. There are certain areas that we have to work together with a lot of different stakeholders. We have the National EICR Institute in Kaduna State, who are also doing their piece in that area. For the blindness, we have different international organizations, and then they continue. Better Ministry for Health and some of their own agencies are continuing to do that. Some of them are establishing different eye care programs in different parts of the country. We are doing everything possible to see that we can be able to manage the prevention of disability through proper awareness creation for the disability community. 1 in 4 or 1 in whatever number the situation we have today in Nigeria, the noisy environment and other poor healthcare facilities at the grassroots level, where you can be able to go for any identification of problems and proper management are part of our challenges within Nigeria.
Okay, I don't know how you can answer this in few seconds. What's your message to Nigerians, not just for only the disability community? Very briefly, we have to wind up.
Primary mission to Nigerians is to realize that the disability community are human beings, and the disability community are intelligent and smart people who have the capacity to contribute in the development of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. We can be what anybody is. Today we have a lot of persons with disability today that can be perfect ministers. Persons with disabilities today who can be perfect federal government or state government agencies. We have persons with disabilities today who can be perfect professors. We have different categories of persons with disabilities. So when you see a person with disabilities, stop passing that automatic sentence that he cannot be able to do anything because he cannot see, because he cannot hear, or just because he doesn't have a leg. The everything about disability is that our attitude causes the bad environment.
Okay. Thank you very much, Mr. James David Lalo. We wish you the very best. We want to see that your efforts yield more positive results. Thank you so much for your time on the program.
Thank you so very much. Thank you.
Right. Lara Babu from the Abuja Inquirer newspaper. Thank you so much for your contribution.
Thank you for having me.
Always a pleasure.
Thank you.
All right, we have been talking promoting inclusivity in Nigeria, and yes, you've had it all. There's ability in disability. Let's provide an enabling environment with collective responsibility, of course, you and I, so that they can live, learn, and work and have a meaningful life. I'm Ruth Aguele. Bye.